In this video, we will see what people are building using vibe coding. Things like impressive 3D virtual museum, this detailed amazing 3D space game, 3D Lego city, and many, many more things. We will briefly explain what vibe coding, and lastly, we will see why the CEO of OpenAI said AI will be the #1 at coding. First up, look how amazing this virtual museum is. I didn't think that you could build an entire virtual museum with code, let alone with vibe coding, but someone made it all using just Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Plus, look at the art. It even displays the descriptions of the art when you come near it. Wow, this is just mind-blowing. How did they even put all the arts here? I mean, look at the building. I really am impressed. This is too good to be true. Before we continue seeing what crazy things people are making using vibe coding, let us briefly see what vibe coding is. Vibe coding is a new way of coding, where you don't write a single line of code, and what you do instead is you tell AI what you need and it will do it for you. Then you run the code, and if you come across any error, you just copy and paste the error to the AI without thinking, and you run it again. It's simple, isn't it? Vibe coding was introduced by Andrej Karpathy, a co-founder of OpenAI and former AI leader at Tesla. He said this approach in his statements. It's not really coding. I just see things, say things, run things, and copy-paste things, and it mostly works. Let's go back to seeing the crazy things that were built with vibe coding. Here this dude created a 3D shooting game inside a dungeon using Grok 3 for the entire code. You can see like the shotgun has an aim, which looks like the plus sign, and there are goblins, and for some reason there is volcano in the dungeon. This is still good, being able to create this kind of game without coding a single line that is still pretty good. Now, this is a high-quality game created by the same dude. You can see like both the hand and the fireball looks very real. Look, the health bar has just decreased like a real game. The way he shoots the fireball, the goblins, even the entire dungeon seems so polished that I don't mind playing it. I mean, when you code with vibe coding, the best programming language is English and not Python. Oh, wow, this looks pretty great. This dude created an entire Lego city using Claude 3.7 sonnets, and then to make it beautiful and real, what he did was colored the entire thing using video-to-video feature of Runaway. This looks like a real Lego city. Now this game is mind-blowing. It has everything, starting from targets, score, shield, hyperboost, and speed bar. You can even see the level on the right top corner. Wow, it even has a compass in the left bottom corner, and it also has the sound effect of pew pew pew, and you can see how it moved. The speed is crazy fast. Everything looks real. This is a solid game. I think we are heading to a point where you can pretty much say anything, and then the AI will do it for you. Now we have this game. I know a lot of us have played this game at some point, but to be able to create the entire game without writing a single line of code is just unbelievable. Imagine a world where you can simply say, I need a game that lets kids learn math, and then like boom, the AI builds the exact app you told it, and it is personalized to your kid. I mean, isn't it incredible? With vibe coding, we will reach a point where we no longer ask for an app developer to fix some issue. We can just create the same app personalized to us. I mean, the future is amazing. This game was built using only 20 prompts in just less than an hour. You might say, how did it take 20 prompts? I mean, this game follows all the physics rule, and you will add more details to the app as you keep vibe coding. The ball even bounced correctly. I mean, I don't see any flows, except for this. Like, look how, at this part, the ball acting weird for some reason. Note that most examples I showed you were made in just less than 3 hours. Not by experts, but by normal folks who were new to coding, and some of them didn't even write a single line of code in their life. I bet a professional coder would take at least a day to plan, figure out how to write the code, and finally sit down and write it. Mind you, I'm comparing newbies with professional software engineers, and this demonstrates that using vibe coding is way more effective than the traditional way of coding, where you spend an imaginable time in coding. Now let us see what the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, said about programming a year ago.
I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound completely opposite of what people feel. You probably recall over the course of the last 10 years, 15 years, almost everybody who sits on a stage like this would tell you it is vital that your children learn computer science. Everybody should learn how to program. And in fact, it's almost exactly the opposite. It is our job to create computing technology such that nobody has to program. And that the programming language is human. Everybody in the world is now a programmer. This is the miracle. This is the miracle of artificial intelligence.
He knew that we were heading toward the age of no coding. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, did an interview in Japan a month ago. He said they're going to make their AI the best at coding by the end of this year. Here is the clip.
Our very first reasoning model was like a top 1 millionth competitive programmer in the world. People thought that was very impressive. It's like, wow, an AI, it's, the millionth best people that do this. That's pretty good. We then had a model that got to like top 10,000. O3, which we talked about publicly in December, is the 175th best competitive programmer in the world. I think our internal benchmark is now around 50, and maybe we'll hit number 1 by the end of this year. So that's like an amazing rate of scale for more compute in this new paradigm, and we don't see any signs of that stopping.
Let us see how it's going to become the best coder using reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a training method in which an AI system learns by taking actions and receiving clear, objective rewards when its outputs are correct. In coding, math, and science, these rewards are verifiable. Code either runs correctly or it doesn't, and math problems have definitive answers. This makes reinforcement learning particularly effective in these fields. OpenAI's research builds directly on this idea. On page 2 of their paper, which you'll find linked in the description box, they mention that their reinforcement learning approach was inspired by earlier techniques from DeepSeek R1 and Kimi 1.5. They implemented 2 distinct systems, one, O1 Nice IOI, that incorporated human intervention via additional test time strategies, and another, O3, that relied solely on reinforcement learning without any manual tweaks. The experiments revealed a striking result. The O3 model, which used pure reinforcement learning, scaled up to all available compute, outperformed the human-guided O1 IOI system. This performance boost, evidenced by higher code forces ratings and IOI scores detailed in pages 4-7, clearly demonstrates that when AI learns solely from verifiable rewards without any human fine-tuning, it can achieve superhuman levels, just as AlphaGo did in Go Game. There's no doubt, by using verifiable rewards and scaling reinforcement learning, AI is set to become the #1 coder in the world. You should always know that AI is not going to replace you, but people who use AI are surely going to replace you. So stay up to date. And don't be hesitant to try out new AIs. Hey guys, thanks a bunch you for the 75 subscriber. Click this video to see impressive new AI tools. So if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and hitting the bell. Until next time, folks.